All right, let's dive in. We're going to talk about something that sounds, honestly, a little dull, a government printing office. But stick with me here. What happens when that one super simple office just fails? Well, as we're about to see, the fallout can literally shake an entire country.
So let's just jump right into the deep end. We're talking a massive problem, something that affects millions of people. And it all comes down to one very simple, very scary question.
Yeah, seriously. Think about it. For you, for me, a passport is how we see the world, right? For work, visiting family, just getting out there. So what happens when the machine that makes that essential document just grinds to a halt?
So yeah, this isn't just, oh, my flight is delayed. No way. This is a full-blown national crisis. People get stranded, lives get turned upside down, total chaos. And this isn't some made-up scenario. This really happened.
Okay, so who's the main character in this story? Who's supposed to stop this kind of mess from happening? Let's meet the organization right in the middle of it all. The Printing Corporation of Pakistan, or PCP for short.
I mean, on paper, its job sounds pretty simple, right? It's a government company, and it prints government stuff. But as we're about to find out, the weight of that job is just massive.
And just look at the kind of things the PCP prints. This isn't your average office paperwork. We're talking about the official gazette. That's where new laws get published and become, law. We're talking ballot papers for elections, the very foundation of a democracy. And of course, passports. These aren't just pieces of paper. They are the fundamental documents of a nation. So, how did we get here? To really get what's going on, we've got to rewind a bit and look at how the PCP even started. Its origin story actually gives us some big clues about its problems today.
Okay, so back in 1969, the PCP is born by mashing 4 government presses together. After 1971, the one in Dhaka is no longer part of the picture. So today, you've got 3 of them. But here is the absolute key detail, the thing you have to remember. It operates as a self-financed company. That means it has to make its own money to stay afloat. Keep that in your back pocket because it's going to be a huge deal later on.
All right, so what happens when this super important self-funded agency starts running into trouble? It turns out that whole passport crisis, that wasn't a one-off thing. It was just the latest chapter in a pretty worrying story.
Just listen to this. This quote hints at one of the biggest bombshells. We're talking about the 2013 general election, when all these questions started popping up about extra ballot papers being printed. This statement from the former election commissioner was basically damage control, trying to put out a fire that was casting a huge shadow over the entire election's legitimacy.
And when you lay it all out, you start to see this really troubling pattern. 2013, you have the election mess. Just 1 year later, they flat out refused to print a crucial government notice, stopping a law in its tracks. And then, bam, 2023, the passport crisis hits. Each one of these failures hits a totally different but totally vital part of how the country functions. So you see all this. Election scandals, legal messes, passport shortages, and you just have to wonder, right? What is the real problem here? Is it bad management? Is it a money thing? Well, the answer is actually shockingly simple. And the crazy part is they've known about it for years.
This is it. This is the smoking gun. A report to the National Assembly back in 2017 spelled it out in black and white. Most machines a printing corporation are obsolete. The basic tools the PCP needs to do its job are ancient. This wasn't some new discovery in 2023. This alarm bell was ringing years before the passport disaster ever happened.
And that really brings us to the whole point of this. This isn't just a story about some old, creaky printing press. It's about how one little weak link in a country's basic infrastructure can create this massive, cascading failure that affects absolutely everyone.
Okay, let's put all the pieces together. Remember that whole self-finance thing we talked about? Well, here's where it comes back to bite. When an agency like this can't make enough money, it can't buy new equipment. And what do you get? Obsolete machines. And those old machines lead directly to disaster. Passport delays messing with citizens' lives, sketchy ballot printing that makes people doubt democracy, and even the government being unable to officially publish its own laws. See? It's all connected.
And that kind of leaves us with this one big, unsettling question. We always think about a nation's stability in these grand terms, armies, economies, big political moves. But what this story really shows us is that sometimes a country's ability to just work comes down to something as simple and as dangerously fragile as a government printing press.